Hey, hi, and hello. Chris here. Thanks so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. Today, well, we have another true crime story from right here in Canada, eh? And I'm allowed to say that I'm Canadian. Today, we are going to be talking about the Pan family. Now, the Pan family, they were the ideal immigrant success story. Han Pan was born and raised in Vietnam, but moved to Canada in 1979 as a refugee. His wife, Bic, pretty much the same story. The two of them met and they married in Toronto, Canada. 1986, they had their first child, Jennifer. And in 1989, along came a boy they named Felix. The Pans worked at the same company for Magna International, and it was an auto parts manufacturer. Han himself was a tool and die maker, and Bic, well, she made auto parts. And boy, did they work. Throughout the years, they worked very hard, and they took every opportunity that they could in order to have a good life and to be able to provide a bright future to their children that they never had growing up. Because the Pans had worked very hard, saved and budgeted, they were very frugal. 2004, they were finally able to afford a nice home and even bought themselves some nice cars. Really nice cars. A Lexus and a Mercedes. One thing to know about the Pans, they were extremely strict on their kids as they were growing up. Strict, I mean really strict. Some people refer to them as tiger parents. For those of you who don't know what that means, it's basically when parents raise their children in a very strict, demanding way. They push the child or children to high levels of academic achievement with strict rules, tough love, and discipline. Now, the Pan children were, by all accounts, nearly perfect. Felix was now away studying mechanical engineering at a very prestigious university. Han wanted his son to design cars, not assemble them like his parents did. Their daughter Jennifer was an Olympic caliber figure skater, an award-winning pianist, and a straight-A student. Han wanted her to become a doctor, but he said his daughter really didn't have the stomach for it, and so he chose pharmacy as her career option. Yes, you heard that right. The father chose their careers. But, you see, there's always a but. Jennifer, well, she was actually hiding a lot from her parents. And almost everything her parents knew about her was a lie. See, Jennifer's parents would pick her up from school each day and watch her closely. She wasn't allowed to date boys. She wasn't allowed to go to any high school dances or proms. Her parents feared that any of these extra activities would interfere in her academic achievements. I mean, I understand the importance of school, but there is also something to be said clearly about having social interaction with peers as well. But who am I? Anyway, Jennifer began to live a double life. She was in a world of many deceptions. While the parents were putting tons of pressure on Jennifer to get straight A's, in actuality, her grades were starting to slip, and she was only averaging around the C range. This would be so unacceptable to her parents that if they ever found out, she actually started doctoring up her report cards and making it look like she was a straight A student. And dang, she must have went through a lot of effort to forge those report cards. And I can't imagine it's an easy thing to do. Or is it? Has anyone ever done it? Dirty dogs. Anyways, it was so bad that Jennifer didn't even graduate high school. But the lies had to continue though. So Jennifer doctored up an acceptance letter to an elite pharmacy school. Once again, because her father chose her career. So while she's pretending to go to university, she was actually just sitting around in cafes most of the time, but she was also teaching some piano and worked part-time in a restaurant to earn some extra money. And now you're probably asking, Chris, didn't her parents question why they weren't paying for this elite university? Well, guys, here's the thing. Jennifer was so good at lying at this point. She told her parents that she had won scholarships and they didn't even question it. I mean, why would they? She was their golden child. To make sure her parents didn't question anything, she even went out and bought secondhand textbooks and watched videos relating to pharmacology. She also created notebooks full of class notes that she would show her parents. I mean, she was all in. Now, remember when I said that her parents didn't allow her to date? Well, just like everything else, Jennifer was being deceptive about that as well. See, she had a boyfriend, her high school sweetheart, named Daniel. And she was seeing Daniel for many, many years. And now, during the university years, Jennifer would ask her parents' permission to stay with a friend during the weeks. You know, her friend lived near the campus, and, you know, it was going to be really convenient to get to school and all. But in actuality, she was staying with Daniel. Oh, so many lies, Jennifer. So many lies. So now we have Jennifer pretending to complete her degree. She's being secretive about her boyfriend, Daniel. And now we're just going to add to the list because, you know, that's just not enough. And Jennifer tells her parents she's now going to be volunteering at the hospital for sick children. But, I know, another but. But Jennifer did not have a hospital badge, nor did she have a uniform. So this kind of made the parents a little suspicious. Vic followed her daughter to the hospital one day and quickly discovered she was lying. All the truths were starting to come out, and the Pans, they were shocked to discover Jennifer's life of lies. Now, Han wanted to throw Jennifer out of the house, but Mom, well, she persuaded him to let her stay. But Dad told Jennifer, okay, so go back to school, finish everything, and quit seeing Daniel. Or wait until I'm dead to see him. Probably something he shouldn't have said. So now Jennifer was pretty much on lockdown, but she did manage to sneak visits here and there with Daniel. And at this time, he was pretty much over all this. He didn't like the sneaking around and the hassles that this was all becoming. And he ended up starting to date another woman. Oh, and when Jennifer found out about this, she was pissed. I mean, Daniel was her love, and he needed to be with her. So, doing what Jennifer does best, she made up this crazy elaborate story how several men had entered her house, they attacked her, and because the story just wasn't elaborate enough, she also told Daniel that a bullet was mailed to her house from Daniel's new girlfriend. I mean, it's crazy, right? Well, I guess not so crazy because it actually worked. Jennifer is now back with Daniel. I know. So, November 8th, 2010, 911 operator gets a call from a screaming Jennifer. She's screaming into the phone saying that she's tied up on the banister upstairs and that she's hearing gunshots in the house.
911,
help me, please, I need help.
Where are you, ma'am?
238 Holly Avenue, I think we just don't know. I don't know where my parents are.
Ma'am, calm down. What's going on?
Some people broke into our house and they just showed us all his money. And I couldn't hear my parents yelling downstairs.
Okay,
They said,
ma'am, where are you? 238 what?
Avenue.
238 Avenue Road.
Yes.
Can you spell the street name for me, please?
Dad? Just no, I'm calling.
Ma'am. Hello.
I'm okay. I'm alright.
Hello.
Yes.
Ma'am, I need to know your address. Avenue Road. Can you please spell it for me?
238 Avenue. 238 Helen Avenue. My dad just went outside screaming.
Ma'am, can you spell the street address for me, please?
Helen. Someone broke in and I heard shots like pops. I don't know what's happening. I'm tied upstairs. And I think my dad went outside and he's screaming.
Okay, you're upstairs? You think someone's still in the house?
I heard them leave. I don't know if they're still around.
Okay, are you safe? Can you lock your door? Are you upstairs?
I can't. I'm tied. My hands are tied.
You're tied?
I had my cell phone in my pocket.
Someone invaded your home, ma'am?
Yes, and
You
I
heard
heard
gunshots?
They had guns and they were holding me at gunpoint.
Okay, do you hear your mom anywhere downstairs? Do you think your mom's outside too?
What? Sorry?
Do you think your mom is downstairs too still, or
I don't hear her anymore.
Okay, just take a deep breath, okay? Do you know that if they know your parents, anything like that? Was there any relation to them? Do they
I don't think so.
They just came and tied you up and
They came in and they were like, where's all your money? Where's your money? Where's your wallet? And they
were asking you for money?
Yeah, could you call my uncle and my aunt, please?
Okay.
They live nearby.
Don't worry, okay? We have lots of help on the way, okay? What's your name?
My name is Jennifer.
Jennifer? Okay, Jennifer, you're doing a great job, okay?
I think I hear them.
You hear them? Okay, just stay on the phone with me till you see them, okay? Jennifer? Jennifer?
Yeah?
You're still on the phone, right? Okay. Do you see anyone there?
Yeah, I hear them. Hello? 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 I'm upstairs.
Okay, Jennifer, they're with you, okay?
I don't know where my mom is.
Jennifer?
Yes?
They're with you, right?
I don't see them yet. I hear them.
Okay, you want to stay on the phone with me till you see them? They're there, okay? Jennifer, I'm going to hang up, okay?
Okay.
Okay, take care, okay?
Yeah.
When the police arrived at the house, they did find Jennifer tied up just like she had claimed, and sadly, they found the mother Vic dead with multiple gunshot wounds, the fatal one being to the back of her head. The father, Han, somehow survived and was rushed to the hospital. He was in a coma and fighting for his life. To the rest of the world, it seemed Jennifer was a grieving daughter and a survivor of a terrible home invasion. To the police, though, everything seemed suspicious. First off, they thought it odd that she was able to make the 911 call while being tied to a banister. Secondly, if it was a home invasion, why would they kill two people and leave behind one eyewitness? It really didn't make any sense. And not only that, but hardly anything was taken. Jennifer had claimed that they had taken some cash, but everything else, like cars, jewelry, everything else, it wasn't even touched. Another thing that seemed pretty sketchy to the police was the fact that during the 911 call, you could hear her father running out of the house screaming. And according to officers, in a situation like that, you would actually think the father would go check on his child and not run out of the house and run away. The whole thing didn't make any sense. So because the cops had their suspicion, they started keeping an eye on her and even went to her mother's funeral just to watch her. At the funeral, Jennifer didn't shed any tears and she did not seem to be grieving in any way. Now, we all know people deal with traumatic situations differently, But they were watching and they were keeping an eye on her because something just wasn't sitting right with them. But at this point, the cops really only had Jennifer's word on what happened that tragic night. However, it all changed when Han came out of his coma. And it was believed that this was a miracle that he actually even survived because of the fact he had been shot in the face at a close range. But he did survive. Not only did he come out of the coma, but he remembered every single detail. And the story he told was quite different from little Miss Jennifer's. It surely was. See, what he recalled was that his daughter was actually coming down the stairs at one point. She was not tied up to any banister like she had claimed. And he even remembered that Jennifer was actually talking to one of the gunmen in a friendly, nonchalant manner. So what really went down that night? Well, during the investigation and all the interviews, it was learned that Jennifer and her boyfriend Daniel came up with a plan to hire a hitman for $10,000 to kill her parents. I mean, after all, she would inherit approximately $500,000. So, there's that. And the fact that nobody would interfere with her and Daniel's relationship anymore. $500,000 and a high school crush. Incredible. It was learned that Daniel had given Jennifer a burner phone so that she could contact the hitman herself. Text messages were later recovered that indicate that this hitman was known from Daniel through some drug dealing. One text shows that Daniel even said, "I did everything and lined it up for you." What a great boyfriend. So sweet. On November 8th, 2010, Jennifer Pan was in her bedroom, and she had been turning on and off her bedroom lights. And you're probably asking, why? Why would they do that? Well, that was the signal. Jennifer had secretly unlocked the front door so the hitman could get in easily. The signal of the lights flickering on and off was to let them know, because they were, a little ways away watching for these lights, that all was good and they can come on in. To make it look convincing, they demanded money, they ransacked the bedroom, and they did take the parents to the basement where they were shot multiple times. During Jennifer's third interview, she finally admitted that she had hired the killers, but she stated that she wanted them to kill her and that they must have misunderstood. I'm sorry, what? I mean, obviously the cops did not buy that. Jennifer, Daniel, and the hired killers were all arrested. The trial of Jennifer and her accomplices began on March 19th, 2014 and lasted 10 months. They all pled not guilty to charges of first-degree murder, attempted murder, and the conspiracy to commit murder. The police had an overwhelming amount of evidence, including multiple text messages between Jennifer and Daniel leading up to the murder. Jennifer, Daniel, and the killers were all convicted on December 13th, 2014, and they would serve a life sentence with no chance of parole for 25 years. As Jennifer was carried off to prison, her father addressed her, saying, quote, "I hope my daughter Jennifer thinks about what happened to her family and can become an honest person." End quote. Since this story came out, it has really struck a chord with Asian immigrant children in Canada and the US. It has taken to social media to share tales of tiger parenting and the pressure these kids would go through. Now, Jennifer Lee, a sociology professor, notes, "It's a mistake to take one of these cases and to generalize or stereotype it." She also said it would be a mistake to attribute Jennifer's troubles to tiger parenting. Lee continues by saying Jennifer Pan's story is an extreme case. The danger of highlighting cases like Jennifer's is that they contribute to a misconception that all Asian American kids experience this extreme pressure and are mentally unstable. And this is so far from the truth. So what do you guys think? Comment down below. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Was this a case of a young girl that just snapped because of very strict parenting? Or was this something a little bit more dark and sinister within Jennifer herself? I'm curious to know what you guys think. That's it for today's story. I did find this one so intriguing, and I hope that you guys found it interesting as well. If you did, just hit that little thumbs up button in the corner. And if you like true crime and you haven't already, I'd love it if you hit that subscribe button and get notified every time I upload. Take care, everyone. Stay safe out there. Lots of love, hope, and prayers from Calgary, and we will see you on the next one. Bye.